Hey folks, my name is Lil Guillotine, and I'm here to talk about the right-wing protests to open America and to liberate America, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. The Open America protests are ignorant and extremely dangerous, but are capitalizing on popular working class sentiments. It is legitimate for working class people to be frustrated about the current situation, but not, as Trump would have you believe, because they have cabin fever, but rather because they're in a precarious situation that is unprecedented in our lifetime in the United States. Because you see, the government is telling people to not go to work and stay home while simultaneously practicing neoliberal economic policies that end up meaning austerity for regular working class people. This is true because neoliberal trickle-down economics started by the Reagan administration in the early 80s is a myth. The ruling classes are of course concerned about economic collapse of the US capitalist system, and so their response is massive handouts to the millionaires, billionaires, bosses, landlords, and the corporate ruling classes through the multi-trillion-dollar coronavirus economic stimulus package. By some projections, the real unemployment rate in the United States is over 14% right now, the highest percent since the 1940s in the United States, and something like 1/3 of all renters in the country were not able to pay rent to the landlord class. All this is happening simultaneously while federal and state governments expect us to stay home while providing next to zero unemployment insurance compensation for folks who are out of work due to the coronavirus quarantine, zero health care benefits to folks in the United States, relying on the private insurance industry, which has been so destructive over the past several dozen years in the country, and while doing next to nothing to provide rent and utility forgiveness for regular working class people in the country. Although many of the folks who are showing up to these Open America, Liberate America protests around the country are regular working class people, many of the groups who are heading these protests and calling for them in the first place are proto-fascists and white supremacist militias, opening up dangerous avenues for reactionary politics to get spread among the working class. And because we know it was President Trump who inspired these protests in the first place, it is indicative of the power of rhetoric coming from the very top to invoke deadly actions from those who worship him. It also shows us the power of rhetoric coming from the top to invoke and legitimize racist, sexist, xenophobic, white supremacist ideology in the United States. To the people who are showing up to these Liberate America protests, I would like to inform them that we practice quarantine, social distancing, and we wear masks because we understand the consequences of not doing so are untold deaths among folks who are most vulnerable in the country, not because the government tells us. So stop ignoring science and putting people at risk, and start putting pressure on the government to provide a social safety net to folks who are at risk and in precarious situations because of the current pandemic. We don't need the government to open up or liberate the country because we are smart enough to understand the science and compassionate enough not to put compromised and vulnerable people at risk of death. The left needs to be able to funnel and put to action the popular sentiments of the working class, like the right wing have been so successful in doing the past few days. So let's organize towards that end And be sure to check out the mutual aid efforts in the Madison, Wisconsin area where we aim to do just that. The Dane County Community Defense Network. You can donate money or you can donate time to volunteer. Even if you're somewhere far away from Madison, we have volunteer work that needs to be done and can be done by folks via the internet. And also, let us work towards decarcerating the United States right now, where the opportunity has never been more ripe to free them all. You feel me? You can donate to Free the 350 Bail Fund, seeking to free black folks from the Dane County Jail in Madison, Wisconsin, and Dane County. PayPal at freethe350bailfund@gmail.com, or via Venmo at Liam-Manjon, that is Liam-Manjon, or via Cash App at freethe350 Bail Fund. Thanks for tuning in today. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and comment in the comment section if you disagree, if you agree, or if you have any questions. You feel me? Peace out, y'all. Stay healthy and stay safe.